play on the recording. So welcome to yoga. So like I said, you want to grab a blanket or maybe even a pillow. You can even grab a cushion off of the chair, off of your couch would be fine as well. You'll need a mat, and if you think you need blocks, you know that you're tight when you're going into lunges. You don't have any blocks, I've heard that toilet paper roll would work, or even a Kleenex box would work as well. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you can't hear me, write something in the chat, and I'll be sure maybe to speak a little bit louder. So we'll first start in a seat, in a nice comfortable seat. Again, the tightening of the hips helps to relieve some tension in the hips. It also helps to straighten the spine. You can rest your hands on top of your lap, just resting your hands, relaxing your shoulders, closing your eyes. And first begin by relaxing any facial muscles, relaxing the eyes, maybe even creating some space between the top and bottom rows of teeth to relax the jaw. Feel the neck relax, And just take this moment to notice what it feels like to be in the body at this moment. I'm not trying to judge or shape or change anything. Just being here. Just noticing your breath. If it feels a little shallow. Noticing where any tension in the body is. This is when we just connect within, noticing what it feels like to be in the body at this time. And as you begin your practice this morning, it is safe to feel whatever it is that is in your mind, body, and your breath. Give yourself the freedom to make mistakes, maybe miss a breath or a pose. And if at any time in the practice it feels like too much or you'd like to just breathe, it's okay for you to do that and come into a child's pose or just sit. Sitting with compassion for yourself, sitting with acceptance where you are in your practice. We don't need to try to force any pose. Instead, just be aware of your limits, your edge, and be aware of your breath. And just take a moment and thank yourself for showing up for your practice. Finding gratitude really helps to ground and start to help create an intention. We'll bring our hands to heart center. And we'll set an intention for this morning, what brought you here to the mat this morning. Beginning with the words, I am, acknowledging it like it is already here, and confident that it is already in the process of happening. And I can share with you my intention that I've been working with is that I am a compassionate mirror to myself and others. Finding compassion through these difficult times for yourself, giving yourself some learning curves here. And just allowing you to be where you are. Be here with what you have. And let's begin to deepen our inhale and lengthen our exhale. Start to follow your breath from the beginning all the way to the end. You can even rest your hands down on your lap. And following your breath, you may begin your inhale, filling up your belly, up to your rib cage, and all the way up through your chest. Expanding the collarbones. And then as you exhale, start to exhale from the chest. Feel the rib cage collapse and the belly pull back and in. Your inhale will fill your belly, fill your rib cage, and fill your chest all the way up through the collarbones. And as you exhale, all the way back down, kind of like a wave here. Inhaling through the belly, through the rib cage, all the way up through the chest. And then follow that breath back down through the chest, down through the rib cage, all the way through the belly. And then we'll add on with this breath. So as you take your inhale, lift your arms all the way up overhead. Maybe even taking a look up at the thumb if that feels good for your neck. As you exhale, flip the palms down and let your exhale be the same length as your movement here. Good. So still filling up the belly, the rib cage, as now the arms move, connecting the breath with the movement. And then exhale, we'll flip the palms, coming all the way down, letting your exhale be as long as the movement, maybe even exhaling a little bit more as your fingers touch the ground. Inhale to fill up through the belly, through the rib cage, fill everything up. And this time, let's hold here and exhale. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, we'll flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, let's bend the elbows, bring the hands behind the head, still hands are clasped. Exhale, we'll bring both arms, flipping the palms over to the right for a side stretch. Inhale, bending elbows, bringing hands behind the head again, and exhale, up and over to the left. Maybe now, looking underneath that opposite arm. Inhale is going to bring you to center, bending elbows, hands behind the head. Exhale, up and over. Make sure that exhale is full and complete before moving on to the next. Inhale. Filling up really wide. Everything fills up as you exhale, completely release. Even feel that navel pulling back and in as you exhale. Inhaling one more time on each side. Go with your own breath, your own pace here. And again, as you exhale, always pulling that navel back and in. Inhale fills, and the exhale releases. And then we'll release all the way down, hands come to the ground. Just taking a moment here, just noticing the difference, noticing your breath may have shifted a little bit. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. And then we'll actually come to standing here. We'll come stand at the top of our mat. I'll face the camera this way. And we'll first just start with some neck rolls. Just some really easy neck rolls here. Just rolling out the neck, noticing what it feels like. I always like to get into the joints here. Go really slow. And then make sure you go in the other direction. like you to take your two peace fingers and I want you to find your jaw, just your jawbone here, and just make some slight circles around the jaw. Maybe even opening the mouth, opening the jaw and shutting it. And then we'll start to make some big circles with the shoulders, getting into the shoulder joints. And then make sure you go in the other direction. Really feel the shoulders moving more than the arms. So the shoulders are really leading you here and the arms are just kind of following with them. Really feel the shoulder blades as you pull back and in together and feel the shoulder blades pull apart. Even just creating some movement in the spine. And then we'll start to make some swimming motion. So imagine that you're swimming here and we'll just go. And then we'll go in the other direction, coming back like a backstroke. And then we'll interlace our fingers and start to roll out our wrists, getting some good wrist movement here. We will be on our hands, so wrists need a lot of attention. And then go in the other direction. That play is always a little bit more difficult. Feels weird. And then we'll start to do some swaying back and forth, hitting the opposite shoulder and kind of hitting where your kidneys would rest. And just kind of giving yourself a little massage on your low back and on your shoulder. These are kind of acupoints, so it can start to get some circulation through the body, kind of like tapping. If you've ever done tapping, that's kind of like what this is, just to wake the body up. I teach this to my second graders and they love this one. We call it the washing machine. All right. We'll come to stand on top of our mat and just make sure your feet are about a hip width distance apart. Feel both feet firmly planted into the mat, all four corners of your feet. Zip in that navel so that you have a nice strong back here. And that tailbone just hangs heavy in between, pointing in between your heels, relaxing your shoulders, closing your eyes, and we'll flip our palms towards me. Just take a moment here, standing nice and tall, feeling rooted into your mat, maybe even pressing your feet, your toes into the mat. And then we'll take an inhale, again, coming to that long, smooth breath. We'll interlace our fingers, flip our palms up, and we'll do the same thing that we did when we were sitting. So take an inhale and exhale. And inhale, we bend our elbows, bring our hands behind our head. As you exhale, we'll reach up and over the right. And again, it might be easier now to pull that left shoulder blade back and look up towards the ceiling, underneath that left arm. Take a couple breaths here. Breathing into that left side, feel that left foot rooted into the mat while we reach up and out. Maybe even starting that slight restriction in the back of your throat. Inhale, we'll bend the elbows. As you exhale, we'll reach up and over to the other side. Now again, open up into the right side here. As you pull that shoulder blade back and in, look up underneath that right armpit. And really breathe into the left side of the right side of the rib cage. Inhale, we'll come up to center, and exhale, hands come down. And we'll add on to this. As you inhale now, lift your heels off of the ground. So we'll lift our heels. As our arms lift, we're going to reach for opposite shoulders here, right behind our back. And then as you exhale, see if you can let your exhale be the same length as your movement as you bring your hands and your feet down at the same time. We'll try that again. Inhale, nice, through the belly, through the rib cage, all the way up, lifting the heels, bending elbows, reaching for opposite shoulder. As you exhale, everything comes down. Let your breath and movement be nice and slow and steady and controlled here. Inhaling, arms lift, heels lift. And exhale. Seeing if you can get your heels and your hands down at the same time. Maybe even exhaling a little bit more here. Inhaling. So as you're lifting, even feel your heart and your chest lifting up, like you're puffing up your chest here. And exhale. Good. One more time. Let's do it one more time on your own. We'll take our hands behind our back. We'll interlace our fingers and puff our chest up. And we can widen our legs a little bit here. Lift our chest, lift our heart. Come all the way back. And then as you exhale, we'll start to bend into our knees and hang in a forward fold. Letting the arms come to follow. And then we'll release the arms here, down onto the ground, letting the head and the neck just release here, shaking out yes and no. Maybe even want to reach for opposite elbows and sway from side to side. And then we'll take an inhale. Start to straighten the legs. We'll bring your hands to your shins or even to the tops of your thighs to create this straight spine. As you exhale, bend into your knees, fold forward again. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, find where your hands need to be placed, either on your shins or on top of your thighs here, to give yourself a nice straight spine. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. And one more time, inhaling, holding here. Take another breath. Exhaling, staying here. And then as you inhale, we'll come all the way up with a straight spine. Hands reach up overhead, taking a look at the thumbs together if that feels good. And exhale, everything comes down. And just pause here for a moment. And we'll continue on with that. These are our half sun salutes. These are really great to do first thing in the morning. You can either keep your legs nice and wide or feet can come about a hip width distance. So we'll continue on with that. Inhale, arms lift up overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, puff up your chest. Exhale, folding forward, bending your knees, bringing belly on top of thighs. Release the hands. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we'll come all the way up to stand. And hands come back down to the side. We'll do that again. Inhaling, arms lift. Exhale, interlace your fingers back behind you, puff up your chest. And then we'll exhale as you, on your next exhale, or forward fold. Sorry, I lost my breath there. Forward fold as you exhale. Inhale comes halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms lift all the way up overhead. And exhale, hands come down to the side. One more time, arms lift, head lifts, nice and full breath here. Exhale as your hands interlace behind your back, puff up your chest. Exhale as you forward fold. Let go of the hands. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms lift. And exhale, hands come back down. And then standing at the top of the mat, we'll take one more inhale, arms lift. As you exhale, come all the way down, bring to your hands and knees. And this is, you might want to bring some blocks or that toilet paper close by. So we'll come into our hands and knees. And we'll start to just move the spine a little bit here. Feet can be resting on top of the mat, or if you need to keep your toes up, that's fine too on the mat. Spreading out your fingers nice and wide to give you some good support here. Take a big inhale with a straight spine. And as you exhale, start to tuck your tailbone, curl your spine, pulling your navel all the way back and up. And then as you inhale, tailbone points up towards the ceiling, release the belly. Take a gaze forward, broaden those collarbones, the shoulder blades pull back towards hips. Exhale as your tailbone tucks, curling the spine, navel draws in, head releases. Inhale as you release the belly, creating some space between the navel and the chin. Exhale to curl. Just go ahead and do that a couple more times on your own, feeling your spine. Just doing what you can. Following your breath, every inhale ignites your movement. See if you can breathe in a little bit more as you stop the movement. And then as you exhale, exhale first, then start the movement. Let your breath really guide you through each of these poses. We'll do one more set. So it's the inhale we're following so much as not the body. Good. We'll come back to table. And we'll bring both knees in together. And the feet are in together. We'll fan out our hands to the long edge of the mat, so out away from our body. We'll take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, drop your hips over to the right, look over your left shoulder. That left knee may want to lift, and that's okay. Inhale as we come back to center, navel draws in. Exhale as you drop your hips over to the left, look over your right shoulder. Inhale draws you to center. And exhale drops over, looking over opposite shoulder. Keep going. Inhale to lift, to bring to center. Exhale to drop the hips. And then we'll come back to hands and knees. You may even want to flip your hand so the back of your hand gets onto your mat. Roll out your wrists a little bit. We'll do a little opposite arm, opposite leg here. So bring your knees now back to center underneath your hips. We'll take an inhale. We'll extend our right leg back, and that means our left arm is going to reach forward. So the left thumb is pointing up to the ceiling. Take an inhale. Make sure your hips are still level here because the hips do tend to want to lift or even lower. See if you can get a nice even hips here. And we'll exhale to release. Inhale as you extend the right arm, left leg, heel presses back. Holding here, zipping in that navel, keep breathing. Inhale to release. We'll do that one more time on each side. Inhale as your right leg, left arm extends. Keep breathing. Navel pulled in tight, engaging in the glutes. Feeling nice and long here. And exhale, release this time. Inhale as you extend the right arm, left leg back. Keep breathing. And exhale, release. And then we'll come into a child's pose. So you have the option here, you can bring your knees out to the side. Big toes come into touch, and your hips come back towards your heels. Arms extend, feeling a nice length, long spine here. Forehead can rest onto the mat. If your forehead doesn't reach, you can always grab a block or a blanket, something to rest gently underneath your forehead. And just take a moment here. Maybe even flipping the palms up towards the ceiling to give the wrists release here. And take this time to connect with your breath. Come back to that long, smooth inhale. And deepen that exhale, lengthening it. Inhale, we'll come to hands and knees. We'll move through hands and knees and down dog. This one's another good warm up in the morning. So this time in the hands and knees, we'll tuck our toes. Spread your hands out nice and wide. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, we'll start to lift our hips up and back. Keep your knees bent since this is the first down dog. As you exhale, pull the chest towards the thighs. Inhale. Now transition back into hands and knees. Maybe you're coming in for that extended cow. As you exhale, we'll come into down dog. So pressing firmly into the hands, spread the hands out nice and wide, engage the inner shoulders here, and the torso is nice and long, chest reaches back, head is relaxed. Inhale as you drop down the hands and knees. Coming in for that extended cow, and exhale, reaching up and back. And then we'll hold here, take a couple extra breaths. And then from down dog, we'll come back onto, we'll actually walk to the top of the mat. That's what we'll do. We'll come to the top of the mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale for a forward fold. Inhale, we'll come all the way up to stand. Then exhale, hands come all the way down. Do another inhale, arms lift. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale for that halfway lift again, straight spine. Exhale, plant your hands, and we'll just draw our right knee back first. So dropping that right knee onto the ground, top of the right foot rests on the mat, making sure your knee is directly stacked above your ankle here. Really settle into your hips. Press into that left big toe will help you. As you inhale, we'll start to lift up, arms will follow. As you exhale, we're going to fold over our left leg as the arms follow. Inhale, we'll come up to lift. Still sinking into the hips here. Arms will lift up overhead. Chest lifts. Exhale, forward fold over that left knee. Inhale, arms lift. As you exhale, we're going to take our hands again and interlace our fingers back behind us to lift our chest, puff up your chest. And then as you exhale, keeping your arms following, you're going to fold over that left knee again. This time we're going to hold here, take a couple breaths. If that's hurting your spine, you can always just bring your hands behind your back and gently rest them on your low back. And just fold your head forward. Really sink into the hips here. Feel a nice long stretch in the right thigh. And then we'll release our hands, placing them down onto the ground. And this is again where you might want a little support underneath your hands, because we're going to start to straighten the left leg. We'll fold over that left leg to get a nice stretch in the back of the hamstring here. Release your head and neck. You can even see if you can bring your left hand onto your left shin. Good. Inhaling as you bend into the knee, coming back into your lunge, looking up. As you exhale, we'll bring our left knee back to meet our right. Come into our child's pose again. Forehead rests on mat. Inhale, we're going to stand on our shins, arms lift, coming into candlestick. Arms lift all the way up overhead. As you exhale, hands and knees. Exhale, we were in child's pose. Inhale, hands and knees. Sorry about that, guys. As you exhale, we'll come into down dog. Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale, we'll walk to the top of the mat again. Hang in our forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Arms reach up overhead. And hands come back down. Good. Made it through one side. We'll move on to the other. Smooth out your breath here. We'll take an inhale, arms lift up overhead, filling up rib cage. Hands come to touch. As you exhale, bend in the knees, forward fold over the thighs. Inhale for a halfway lift. And this time as you exhale, we'll come and bring our left leg back, dropping our left knee down. And again, making sure your right knee does not go over your right ankle. So it's nice and stacked here. Maybe even walk your leg back slightly, just to sink into the hips a little bit more. And then we'll press into that right big toe, zip in that navel. As we inhale, arms lift up overhead. As you exhale, we'll start to fold over that right leg again. Inhale as arms windmill up and lift. Exhale, up and over the right leg. Still sinking into the hips as you inhale and lift. Exhale, over the right leg. Inhale, arms will lift up overhead again. And then this time as you exhale, we'll interlace our fingers behind our back, puff up our chest here, lifting our heart. Exhale, forward fold over that right leg. So your right shoulder can even come in or on top of your right knee. Let your head hang forward. And again, if that's not feeling good, you can just rest your hands on your low back. Take another deep breath here. And then exhale, we'll release, placing our hands down on the ground. Inhale, start to straighten that right leg, right toes point up towards ceiling, folding over that right leg here. Straightening that right leg as much as you can, breathing in here. Breathing to any sensation you're feeling in the back of the leg. And even noticing the difference between both sides, how they feel a little different. Inhale, we'll come to unwind, sinking into your hips again. Exhale. Take an extra breath. And then inhale, we'll come into our child's pose. Arms extend, forehead rests on mat. Inhale, we'll come to lift on top of our knees and shins. Arms lift. Rib cage opens up. Nice and wide here. Exhale into child's pose. Again, follow your exhale. Let it be smooth and complete. Inhale for hands and knees. Exhale, we'll tuck our toes, lift our hips up and back for down dog. And again, keep your knees bent. And we'll start to bend into our left knee. Push your right heel down towards the ground, still pressing into your hands. Engaging in the shoulders and the biceps and triceps here. Inhale, we'll bend our right leg, straightening our left leg for a nice gentle stretch here on the other side. And then we'll come into stillness here first. Find some steadiness in your breath. Take another big inhale here. And exhale. We'll walk our hands to the back of our mat, so to our feet this time. Walking our hands to the back of the mat, hanging in a forward fold. We'll be in a little wide leg forward fold this time, so bring your feet to the long edge of the mat. And let your belly rest in between your thighs. Hang your head. Really feel the shoulders release now. Take some full breaths. We'll do an inhale. We'll halfway lift to straighten the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into the feet, arms lift all the way up overhead. And exhale, hands come down to the side. Close your eyes here and take a breath. Finding that smooth breath here. All right, so you may need a blanket for this. We'll move into a yoga squat malasana. This one's really nice. For your back, your legs here, nice little yoga squat. So I like to just give myself a little bit of support on my heels. So if you just roll up if you know that you can't get down on the ground with your heels all the way down, which I can't always. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Whatever my body's feeling. So I like to also, just to even feel a little bit more support here, you can widen your legs as much as you can. pointing your toes out slightly so that your knees and your ankles and toes are all pointing in the same direction. We'll take a nice big inhale, lifting up, and then exhale, we'll come all the way down, bringing your hips all the way down. You can bring your elbows pushing into your inner thighs here. Hands can come together as you open up your hips here, as you're pushing into your knees. Take a breath here. And exhale. Good. Inhale, we're going to come all the way to stand. So inhale is going to lift. So you're going to push into your heels, lift your hips, arms reach up, all the way up overhead. And then we'll exhale, little vinyasa flow here, bending knees, bringing hips all the way down. Feels really good on the hips. We'll just do that one more time. Pushing into your heels, engaging your glutes here to help you lift, zip in that navel, arms lift. Everything's engaged, kind of pulling in together. And then we'll exhale, nice and slow, come all the way back down. That's why I think the blanket's a good help. Take a breath here in stillness again. And then we'll place our right hand down. You can even open up that right arm and extend it, pushing into that right leg. And then we'll lift our left fingertips up towards the ceiling, moving your torso up towards the ceiling. Look up towards that thumb if that feels good. If not, you can look down towards the ground. Take an inhale. And then we'll exhale, bringing everything back in. Inhale, we'll straighten the left arm. Now pushing that left arm into the left leg. You can even place the left hand on the ground to help to open up a little bit more. Even pushing into that left thigh with that left arm helps to open you up a little bit more. Take one more inhale and exhale. We'll release. And then we'll just walk our hands, drop our knees down onto the mat, and we'll come into a child's pose. So you can bring your toes in together, knees can splay out as you fold forward over your thighs, resting your head on the mat. We'll inhale, we'll come back to that candlestick. Arms will lift all the way up overhead again. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale. For tabletop, you can bring your knees back in. And exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back for down dog. And then we'll come back onto our hands and knees. And then we'll come to rest on our sit bones. Let's let the legs extend out. And I'll face you for this. We're going to do a little windshield wiper with our legs sitting up. So we're sitting up nice and tall here. You can always bring, I don't think you need any support for this one because your legs are bent, feet are extended out, and hands can just support you behind you. We'll take an inhale, and then we'll exhale, drop the knees over to the right, maybe even looking over the left shoulder. Inhale, we'll bring our knees to center. Exhale, over to the left, looking over the other shoulder. Inhale to the center, exhale to the right. Inhale to center, it's really easy here. And exhale over to the other side. This time, as you inhale, you can add on to this. If you'd like to add on, exhale, drop your knees over to the right, and we're going to extend our left arm up and over, and looking up at the left fingertips as they reach over across the body. Inhale, everything pulls back to center. Exhale as you extend now over the left. Right arm follows and reaches up and over. Inhale, come all the way back. Do that a couple more times on your own. Just noticing how it feels in the body. I tend to move a lot with this one, so you may move off your mat, and that's fine. Inhale to center. Exhale over. And now if you'd like to add on a little bit more here and using a little bit more of the core, you can bring your hands behind your back, or behind your head, or you can just keep your hands out. I like when your hands are behind your head, take an inhale, and you can exhale, drop the hips over to the right. So here you're using a little bit more of your core. Exhale, the other side. Any one of those are fine. If you're down here and you're good, that feels good, you can extend your arm, or you can make this a little bit more of a core workout here. Good. Then we'll come back to our seat. Let's extend our legs out nice and wide. Nice and long, I mean. You may need a blanket to help to support your hips in Dandasana. Words are not my friend right now. So a nice little lift in the hips feels good to let the legs extend forward. We'll just take an inhale here. You can rest your hands down. Now in Dandasana staff pose, doesn't look like we're doing a lot, but we still should be. So make sure your legs are pressing into the mat. Toes are lifted. Heart is lifted. Shoulders are pulling away from the ears. Hands can rest down to your side. Good. We'll bring our left leg in. So our left foot comes in our right thigh. Oh no. Okay. So even keeping that support on your hips is nice for this too. So we'll bring our left foot in our right inner thigh, and we'll face our right toes. We'll take a nice big inhale, lifting the heart, arms lift. As you exhale, we'll fold over that right leg. Hands can come and rest wherever they need to. You can rest them on your shins. Bring your head down to your right knee if that feels good. Just folding over that leg. Feel the head release too. And here you may feel it easier to breathe in the back of the body. Not so much in the front, but really feel the back open and expand. Inhale, we'll come all the way back up, and exhale. We'll bring our legs back to straight staff Dandasana. So legs are still pushing into the mat. Those inner thighs are engaged as the kneecaps lift, heart lifts, shoulders relax. Inhale, this time we'll bring our right sole of our foot into our inner left thigh. Left toes lift, pointing up towards ceiling. Take a nice big inhale. As you face your left toes, we'll start to fold forward over the left leg, placing your hands whatever feels good to you. Right? You can always keep a slight bend in that knee too. You never want to hyperextend that knee, so just fold over the leg here. Breathing into the back of the body here, breathing into the back of the leg. Every inhale may lengthen the body, the torso, and every exhale, maybe you can fold forward a little deeper over that left leg. Inhale, we'll come all the way back up. And exhale, we'll extend that right leg, coming back into our Dandasana. All right, so we'll come onto our back. You may want to move aside any props. And we'll go ahead and first start by lifting our left leg off of the ground. So we'll bring the right foot onto the mat and we'll just lift our left leg at about a 90-degree angle here. And you go ahead and lift your right arm too. Take a breath in and exhale. Inhale, we'll drop the left toes and right arm, and we'll inhale the right leg, left arm. So again, that right leg is lifting as much as you can. If you can straighten that right leg, that would be good too, but you can still keep it bent here. Just a modified boat pose. And exhale, dropping down. We'll do that one more time on each side. Inhale, the left leg and the right arm. Exhale, everything down. Inhale as you lift the left arm, right leg. And exhale down. And then if you'd like, we can try both. So we'll lift both arms, we'll lift both legs and coming into a nice boat. So keeping your knees bent are fine. If you can straighten them, I'm not really feeling that great this morning about that. Keep them bent. Take a big inhale. And exhale. See if you can come all the way down, extending your legs, extending your arms. Let the head be the last to rest down. And release the body onto the mat. Nice job. Take a breath. We'll bring knees into chest. Give yourself a good squeeze. Maybe rolling from side to side, giving yourself a nice little back massage here. Rolling out your knees too, if you'd like. Making some circles with the knees. And then we'll place the feet down onto the mat. Hands will come to rest next to it. Bringing your heels close to your hips as you can. We'll take an inhale. We'll start to do a little dynamic bridge pose. So inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms up and back. As you engage in the glutes, press into the feet, arms come resting behind you on the ground. Exhale as the arms and the hips come all the way down together. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms. Up and over the head. And exhale, follow the breath. As you exhale, everything comes down to the ground at the same time. Go ahead and do that a couple more times on your own. Inhale as you lift the hips. Lift the arms. Nice long extension here, and exhale. Everything pulls down. That navel really pulls down towards the ground. One more time here. Inhaling, lift. And exhale, everything comes down. We'll extend our feet to the long edge of the mat. Knees come into touch. You can rest your hands on your belly, pulling that navel down into the ground. You don't feel any space in your low back. Your low back is resting into the mat, into the ground. Hands on belly. And just follow your breath here as the hands lift, as the belly expands. And exhale as the belly deflates and everything pulls back and in. And we'll take an inhale. Bring your arms into goalpost arms. Just thinking about a goalpost arms. Arms are bent at about a 90-degree angle. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop your knees over to the right and hold here. If you'd like, you can rest your right heel onto your left leg, your left thigh, right above the knee. You can look over the left shoulder. Take some nice, long, smooth breaths here. Inhale, unwind, removing that heel if it was on your left leg. Inhale, everything comes to center. And then exhale, we'll come on to the other side. And then we'll bring our left heel onto our right thigh, looking over the right shoulder. Still just following your breath. And then inhale. We'll come back to center. Bring your knees in again. Give yourself a low back massage while rocking from side to side. And roll out your ankles here while you're doing that, going in one direction and then go in the other direction. Now we'll take a big inhale. I want you to bring everything in. So wrap your hands around your shin, bring your forehead up to your knees so the shoulders will lift off of the floor. Squeeze into a really tight ball here. Even squeeze your facial muscles, squeeze everything. Do opposite of everything we just did. Take a big inhale. And exhale, go ahead and release everything onto the mat. And start to set up for our final resting pose. Shavasana, corpse pose. So as you set up here, I like to bring a blanket underneath my head. You can also bring up a pillow underneath your knees if you feel like you have any low back issues. just lie down on your back. And in Shavasana, this is a very important pose in class because this really allows the integration to come together. It allows your practice to be fully integrated into your body, in through your cells, all the way through your nervous system. Taking some deep breaths just to really release yourself into the mat. Feel the body really heavy into the ground here. There's nowhere to go and nothing to do. Just be. This is our time to be our human being self instead of the human doing like we've all been. And just know that everything you need is right here in this moment. Just watching the rise and fall of your navel. No need to control the breath here. Let it be smooth and easy and natural. Gently begin to bring your awareness back into the room, into your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, maybe rocking the neck from side to side. We'll extend the arms up over the head when you're ready. And exhale, everything comes down. When you feel ready, come and roll onto one side. Take a breath, using the forearm for a little head support. And on the bottom of and on your next inhale, come to lift, to sit upright. And we'll come to start like we did in the beginning of class. So grab for a little height underneath the hips to really straighten the spine here. Just to feel that natural curve of the spine, actually. Keep the navel fold in. Relax the shoulders, close the eyes here, and just take another moment to notice the peace that's been created in your practice. And we'll bring our hands to heart center and take a moment to thank yourself for showing up for your practice this morning. Repeat your intention to yourself that you began with class. We'll take a deep breath in together, and we'll exhale, sighing out of the mouth. The light in me honors the light within each of you. Thank you all for being here this morning with me. Namaste. Thank you all for being here this morning. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. You can always type into the little chat to say whatever you need. I do offer one-on-one sessions, so if you know anybody, we can still do one-on-one through Zoom. If you need anything kind of broken down for you, we can do that. Natural Healing Center is still limited, opened, but we are still having a lot of free classes, so stay up to date on that. Visit our website for any of that. It was great to practice with you all. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you.